Good morning, resin creators. How is everyone doing today? I hope your day is lovely and creative and you get a little time to spend with resin. And I thought it might be fun today to do a little experiment of sorts. And by that, I mean, let's see what happens when you put fresh flowers in resin. So I know, especially if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it is springtime now. And so you see all these beautiful fresh flowers, or maybe you're growing some in your garden over the spring and summer, and you're like, I want to include these in resin. And you might be asking yourself, what happens if I include fresh flowers in resin? So these are some wildflowers I just picked here about 20 minutes ago, and we're going to put them in some mixed resin. So this is just some garden variety doming resin that I mixed up here also right before I got on this video. And we're just going to take flowers and dip them in resin, and you guys are going to see what happens. So let's see. So we've got, I want to make sure we keep a before and after. All right. So we've got this yellow flower. All right, so you can see we've got two of them here, and let's just dip this one in resin and we're going to see what happens. So right away what I notice is, because the flowers are fresh, is that they're very flimsy. So if you've been used to working with dried flowers, you're going to notice that hopefully if you've dried them and sealed them, that they're going to, have a little bit more of their shape and not be quite so hard to work with. So you can see here, like as soon as I take this flower out of the resin, right, it totally like wants to collapse. And let's see if you guys can tell this too. It totally changed color. So the color's pretty cool looking, but if you were counting on that yellow color, you can see that it looks nothing like the yellow color that we just put in the resin. Okay, so I've got, this is the fresh flower just dipped. You can see it's a very pretty orange, but it's not anything like the yellow color that came off the fresh flower. And not to mention as well that it's very, right, the petals have all kind of bunched up together. So this is a little hard to even get back out together. So, all right, well, let's try the next one and see what happens. Okay, so now I've got these two yellow flowers I'm going to try. So we're going to leave one intact, and I'm going to pull another one off. We're going to dip it in resin as well and see what happens. Okay, so see, we've got the nice yellow leaves, a little bit of the red underneath, and we're going to dip it in resin. All right, so we're getting it good and wet. Right, so we can see this one. Also, right, so the leaves are, you can see the leaves are wanting to collapse. Okay, although not as bad as the other one. So let's take a look and compare this one to the other one. Okay, so there we go. So we've got that one. Okay, so this one looks pretty similar to the other one. All right, so you can see it still looks pretty similar. It has maintained its color and its interior shape. It looks like maybe just a smidge here on these petals, it's starting to go translucent just a little bit, but I don't know that you guys would necessarily see that from where you're at, okay? But anyway, so good there. So, right, so that one maintained its color, at least for now. So we'll set that one aside, right? And then I've got some other like little, I don't know what you call these, like I'm gonna call them little tiny daisies, right? So I've got these here in a cup, right? So they're like really thin, little tiny petals, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and rip one of those off, and we're gonna put it in resin and see what happens. Okay, all right, so let's dip this in resin, right? So we're putting this in here. Okay, all right. Okay, so the petals on this one are going a little translucent as compared to the other. Let's try and see if I can't spread this out a little better so we can see. It's a little hard to, once those petals are wet, I generally don't work with fresh flowers, so the petal thing's a bit of a challenge for me this morning. But you can, so the petals are a smidge, maybe a smidge translucent as compared to the other. And let's see, what's the center look like? I can't even get it to come back open again. So, okay, there we go. So the center looks like it's a little darker than what it is in this flower. So we'll see, like, I don't, right? So the resin one is the one there on the bottom that I've dipped. And then this is the, it's a little hard to see. Okay, so overall, here's what we've got, I tell you. So let me move these out of the way. Okay, so we've got the first one, which is, let me review again. So we've got the first one where it was this yellow flower is what we did, and this is the flower after we dipped it in resin. Okay, so two completely different looking colors. All right. The second one was this type of wildflower with the yellow one. And so while it, oh, this is interesting. So right here it is here. So remember when we first pulled it out, it looked very similar to what it did, but now look, it is changing colors. So it is also going more orange. You can see this interesting kind of orange veining. So that's interesting, right? Because when we first took it out, it looked more like the original flower, right? But now that the resin's had a little time to soak in and or maybe heat up the petals, it's made that color change. And then the last one would be like flowers like this. So these little tiny delicate flowers on like these little daisies. Okay. And that looks, or that's a little like, this one, like, I can barely manage this one. It's all bunched up. Okay. Let's see if I can get them spread out a little bit. Okay. Oh, and there we go. So it looks like they're around the edge. If you can see, like around the edge here, it looks like it's also starting to darken up more than the center is. And it looks like maybe the petals are starting to go even a little more translucent as compared to, let's see, the originals. So trying to compare here. So you can see we've got a color difference. Okay, so why is this important? Obviously it's because if you want to include fresh flowers in your resin, you're probably not going to get the results you want. And so you would do well if you want to include these flowers in resin to dry and seal them first, okay? And I'm not going to go into that here, but just know that you've got several options. So for example, if I wanted to dry these flowers to include in resin, I've done a bunch like this, and you can dry these between parchment paper in between the pages of a heavy book. I've also done these little daisies like this. And for something like this that's a little more three-dimensional that maybe you don't want to flatten, you can use the drying desiccant, like the sand stuff. Don't use the real coarse or the bigger, almost like little pebbles, but use the sand stuff. It's super fine. And the drying takes about 1 to 2 weeks. Otherwise, if you're in a hurry, you can also, if you want the flattened method, you can also do them in the microwave. I've done them before with a drinking glass, but I know there's flower presses out there too that help the process and help make sure you get a good even dry and don't over bake them and all that. So anyway, if you want to know more about how to dry your flowers, we do have some articles on resinobsession.com. So just go and search for drying flowers and you should find a bunch of articles. Otherwise, if you can't find it, hey, send me a DM and I will send you the link and we will get you all started drying flowers and including them in your next resin project. And by the way, when you need supplies for that project, I hope you'll come buy them at resinobsession.com. We offer free shipping on orders of $75 or more, and we ship same day if you get your order to us by noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. So, okay, everyone, have a wonderful Monday. Be creative, and don't forget, when you make something using one of our products, please tag us because we want to share it with everyone. Okay, see ya.